Zounds University, bringing together the best people, hearing instruments, and training. Hi, I'm Zach, a ZHC with Zounds University. We've got some great material to cover today, so let's get started. In this first segment on advanced selling techniques, we'll be focusing on a few key areas such as office appearance, overall attitude, appropriate dress code, and the initial patient greeting. First, let's talk about your office. Your office really needs to be clean and organized in order to make a good first impression. Equipment should be accessible and should not be dusty. Counters should be clean of clutter and well organized. Keep the walkways clear for patients that may be in walkers or wheelchairs. And lastly, make sure that your office has an efficient and organized workflow. Next, let's talk about the important matter of attitude. Your attitude can greatly influence the outcome of a sale. A patient needs to trust the Zounds hearing consultant that's going to care for his or her hearing loss. Taking charge is one of the key elements in gaining the trust of the patient. You are the professional and must be confident in your work and speech. There is no need to be shy or timid. Make sure that you are well trained and proficient in your profession, and the patient will trust your judgment. It's your job to remain positive and remind the patient that you're there to help them. It can be difficult to be cheerful when informing a patient that they have a hearing loss. However, it's important that you listen, smile, and provide words of comfort appropriately. Appropriate attire is another important consideration. Who do you need to become to make the sale? Some ZHCs may want to wear a white lab coat with the Zounds logo and name tag. Other ZHCs may want to wear casual business attire. Please contact your franchise owner or regional director for guidance on this important topic. A comment we occasionally hear is, "If I could see more people, I could sell more hearing aids." Well, here's the reality. If I could sell to all the people I see, I wouldn't need to see more people. Throughout this guide, we'll provide you with advanced selling techniques you can use, ideas you may not have even considered. It's very important to remember that some people need to hear and understand every word you say. Other people want you to hear and understand every word they say. You need to know the difference. When it comes to advanced selling techniques, there is no canned sales presentation. Next, let's talk about a question you'll be asking your patients and the right way to ask that question. What you may be saying currently is, "Will this be the first time you've had your hearing tested?" Instead, what we should be saying is, "Will this be the first time you've been tested for hearing aids?" Of course we give hearing tests, but why? It is specifically to sell hearing aids, and it's absolutely okay to let your patient know right up front why they're in your office and what you're going to do for them. Every time you talk about a hearing test, it should be about a hearing test to be fit and or measured for hearing aids. If your patient objects to the fact that they're being fit for hearing aids, you're in a very lucky position that you found this out up front instead of at the end of your presentation. You have just given yourself 45 minutes to an hour to figure out their first objection instead of 5 or 10 minutes at the end of your presentation. Great job! We'll now turn to the important topic of the patient encounter. In this section, we'll discuss how to incorporate advanced selling techniques at every point during the patient visit. Let's talk about the initial greeting. The initial greeting sets the first impression the patient will have for you and your services. It is the first chance you have to set the tone and build a relationship with your patient. Here are some ideas. For the CSR, it's extremely important that your CSR engage the patient in conversation from the moment they enter the office. They should get to know the patient personally. Your CSR should write notes on the patient chart indicating what they spoke to the patient about and what they may have heard the patient speak to the third party about. You never know what can make the difference to aiding you in making the sale. Now for the ZHC, always greet the patient personally. If you're running late, make sure that you come out and greet your patient briefly and let them know that you're running late and how long they might have to wait. This next topic applies to the CSR and the ZHC, and it has to do with respect. Always call your patient by their last name. Either ask permission to address them by their first name, or wait until they tell you to call them by their first name. Try to use the patient's name as much as possible in your presentation. The initial greeting is so important for new patients. You want your new patients to come back and refer their friends, so always remember to greet all patients and make them feel welcome. Remember, the first impression lasts forever.